A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to the Vlog-A-Thon 5.0. I would like to discuss a couple of things regarding how I've actually managed to shape my health into a much more precise and careful direction. Because if there's one thing that almost everybody can agree on, it's the fact that the supplement craze is still going extremely strong, and for the past 20 years, it seems like upon innovation and regulation, we are actually able to have quality, safe alternatives to being able to have diet and exercise as ways of keeping our health in tip-top shape, as nice and orderly as we can, and most importantly, to make us look and feel better about ourselves. But of course, there are still a good handful of controversies I feel like I could go for a long time talking about in regards to how regulation by the FDA works and how everything that regards to how the supplements are deemed safe and appropriate for usage for people who might have certain health issues, but that might be a little off topic here. So let's just stay on track. Of course, I do have my part of using supplements, mostly the combination of basic vitamin needs from vitamins A, B, C, D, K, and even the likes of iron and zinc pills. Just as an example of what I can typically be found consuming on a daily basis. But aside from the typical vitamin construct that would be necessary in case you cannot get a hold of vitamins that naturally occur in certain foods, like greens for instance, you can definitely get a bit of a rich deposit of certain vitamins like vitamin D, vitamin K, and B12, not to mention zinc, iron, proteins. And you could even get yourself something that would be good for your joints, for your organs, and even for improving your mental functions. But all of these unique benefits and advantages that you can possibly get just by consuming certain foods at a time each day, the real question though is that what kind of alternative could these pills have? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Umzu. Umzu is in fact the leading cause of such massive change that has been happening in the health community. Anyone who currently researches the likes of health, be it from organs, skin functions, muscular, bone, anything at all, should get a little understanding of my perspective on things regarding Umzu products. These supplements, while unbelievably expensive in comparison to most typical brands that you might find like Nature's Bounty, for instance, I can actually find something rather unique about Umzu that would not only help to justify the price tag, but also with all the research and actual evidence that does entail to how these could potentially work. Throughout decades worth of research and studies, especially from the past 20 years, it does seem that every now and then we do come across a unique discovery that the reason why our bodies might happen to be dysfunctional is because there is always one thing that we are getting wrong. Like take for instance, how do people treat colon health? Do we have to go through a colonoscopy every single time we get old? Do we ever have to worry about that sort of incidence where the sun doesn't shine apparently does become a place where the sun shines one day? I probably should emphasize a little bit on the fact though that not everything has to be done the traditional way. Not everybody has to do certain things via surgery or orthotics, for instance. Not everything has to be done the way that thousands of people might do. The rare group of people which has been growing by the minute every single day happens to be where the real truth comes by. The facts that medical studies could never have gotten right. Most doctors hardly have a lot of agreement here with what the real truth entails to. But what we can discover here is, simply put, an understanding of how our body truly is meant to function. And the fact is that Umzu or not, we're always looking to find a way to make our bodies better, the way to make them function more clearly, to have them simply do the things that we do every single day. And I could certainly never live to see a point where there is so much innovation and so much progress in the world of medical studies that Umzu products are practically the capital of the world when it comes to supplements. But if there's one thing that should be explicitly clear here in regards to how supplements work, well, one good tip that I can offer here, do be sure to make the right choice. Do be sure to pick out a quality product, something that can in fact be proven to be effective, as long as there's plenty of evidence out there to help back up the storylines that take place. Whether they happen on the web or locally, it's not necessarily a matter of chance. We don't have to play this weird game where there's 1 out of 50 that people can actually experience something good from these kind of pills. These kind of clear capsules with powder on the inside are, simply put, a ticket to our destiny. The kind of power that our body truly craves, but has never gotten since birth. And that is an extremely really bad thing to happen. And I mean extremely. But for the most part, let's just really focus on the context here. Umzu products are actually a huge thing in my life right now. I've made a dozen purchases of them since the start of 2021. I started off strong by simply buying Zupu and Fluorosil 50. These were popular thanks to medical spokesperson Christopher Walker. This man had talked a horribly big lot of different things out there that were at first a bit skeptical, but in the same way that I've treated the ads to Dr. Squatch being a really effective usage of body wash and soap products, cosmetics of course, by any means, I practically took the advertising on YouTube with the Umzu products as another way to potentially get a lot of help for my body by any means. Of course, the Dr. Squatch products would be really helpful for giving skin and hair health an optimal reach, but in regards to Umzu products, it seems that I can be at optimal levels mostly elsewhere. From the inside out, I could enhance my bodily functions with Umzu, whereas on the outside, Dr. Squatch would probably be the best choice. As for a lot of other things though, well, I typically have just stuck with the standards. Unless of course there are other things that I'm going to have to start looking into when the time does come, by all means. So, hopefully that should give you a nice start, an easy fix to be able to learn about my perspective on things. And apart from the Fluorosil and Zupu products, well, I followed up with the combination of Testro X, Redwood, Miracle Morning, Sensolin, and a few others throughout the rest of 2021. I even bought a few more of some of the same. And by the end of the year, I feel like that my health has gotten so well that not just from the inside, but I feel like the outside has also begun to change drastically as well. I feel like that, well, from what you're seeing right here, I look so much more different as opposed to maybe 2 years ago, simply because I've been doing so much better in recent years. And I'm sure that some of you might have similar feelings or anything by any means to talk with me about. So do be sure to put down a comment in the comment section below, of course. And also, make sure that you like, subscribe, and also follow me on social media. And stay on the Hollywood side if you'd like to see more.